What if the Congress provided billions in funding for a fighter jet the Pentagon and the president don't want? That's what's happening right now in Washington as lawmakers from both parties are pushing to build more F-22 Raptors over the objections of President Obama and his former presidential rival, Senator John McCain. Later today, the Senate will consider a McCain amendment to strip funding for the program. And the senator joins us now from Capitol Hill to talk about this and other issues. Senator, good to see you. Thanks for joining us here on Bloomberg this morning. And this is one issue where you and the president are on the same page.
Yes, we are, along with the Secretary of Defense and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and literally most military experts. Look, this is all about jobs. I understand that jobs are important in people's states, but money for defense should not be a jobs program. This plane has never flown in Iraq or Afghanistan, and it's been in production for more than 5 years.
Tell us a little bit more about this plane. For our viewers who don't know much about the F-22, this is a plane that was built several years ago. Is it not a capable aircraft?
It's a very capable aircraft. It's very capable for air-to-air combat, and we have built 187 of them. What the Secretary of Defense wants and what I want is for us to stop production of the F-22, which we have enough of, and start spending money on the Joint Strike Fighter, which is the next generation of aircraft for both Marine Corps, Navy, and Air Force. It's very important that we move forward with the Joint Strike Fighter, which they've taken money from in order to, in their proposal, to continue production of the F-22, which is an excellent aircraft, but is not it's not prepared. It's not the weapon system to meet the challenges of the 21st century.
What does this say, Senator, about the larger battle over the budget and specifically defense dollars? If you can't kill the F-22 when the Pentagon, the president, the top Republican on the Armed Services Committee, yourself, oppose this program, what does it say about the ability to trim spending in other areas?
It says it's exactly what President Eisenhower warned us about in his farewell speech to the nation about the military-industrial complex. And if you think this is bad, look at these pork barrel projects and the corruption, which is omnipresent because of the earmarking, and most of it's on defense because of the old Willie Sutton syndrome. I said, why does he rob banks? Because that's where the money is. The money is in defense appropriations, and it's outrageous.
Let me ask you about the economic argument. You mentioned it as well. You've got Republicans and Democrats lined up opposite you on this issue. They say if you kill the F-22 right now, you're going to kill jobs across the country at exactly the wrong time. That's reason enough to keep this program in place.
I understand there are like 1,000 subcontractors all over the country. This is an old game that the major defense contractors have been in for a long time. Look, the Joint Strike Fighter will create jobs. We'll have to acquire new weapon systems as we meet the challenges of the two wars that we're in, and there will be plenty of jobs. We're going to spend money on defense because we have to, but we have to spend it wisely, Peter. We can't just frivolously continue to spend it. Look, we are spending money out of defense for the most outrageous things you've ever seen. This has now become symbolic of whether we're going to change the way we do business in Washington or not as far as defense is concerned.
Senator, really quickly, you got the votes to kill this today?
I don't know. I think it's going to be very close.
All right, let me switch gears and ask you about the economy as well. You had problems with the stimulus package when it was first proposed. Now, there's some people talking about the need for a second stimulus. What do you make of that? Do you think it's going to be necessary?
I wonder what they've been smoking. Look, only 10% of the stimulus has been distributed. We did have an alternative stimulus package, which was half of that, which was shovel-ready, which for small business, which is what the generator of jobs in America is. Let me just quickly say to you, I spent a lot of time in my state, and people are shutting down their small businesses, and they say, how come I'm too small to save and these other guys are too big to fail? I don't know. I don't have a good answer for them.
Senator McCain, Ben Bernanke will be testifying on Capitol Hill this morning. What do you think of his job and how he's done his job so far in steering the economy back towards hopefully growth at some point?
I think he's done. I think his job is okay. I'm very worried about the total lack of transparency or significant lack of transparency as to what they're doing, who's being helped, what their plans are. There's a lot of suspicion out there about what the Fed is doing and the trillions and trillions that they are pumping into the economy. But I think, look, this is a tough situation, and so I'm not ready to condemn him out of hand. I am ready to condemn the profligate spending, which we have been into, which is committing generational theft.
Senator McCain, let me ask you, if you were president today, would you renominate Ben Bernanke to be Fed chairman?
I don't know, Peter. I'd have to examine. I hadn't thought about it from that perspective, but I'd be a bit skeptical, but I honestly can't give you an opinion right now. I'm wrapped up in all these other issues.
Senator McCain, listen, got to leave our discussion there. Thanks very much for your time. Appreciate you joining us this morning from the Hill.
Thanks for having me on.